Okay, this assessment is a sequence analysis. It's pretty straightforward. What I'll do is I will post a number of sequences from the films on Blackboard for you to watch. And what you need to do is you need to pick four sequences from the films, and you need to talk and discuss each of those films. So on Blackboard, across the course, I'll be posting those clips up, um, and I'll let you know once they're all up there. And really, this assessment is drawing on all of the conversations and the skills that we've been learning across the semester. So, how we unpack a sequence is very important to this. How you speak to actually what's going on the screen, and how that is attempting to create a persuasive idea of you watching that sequence, and ethically what responsibility you have as a film watcher to this. How do you respond to this? I'm really interested in your own responses, and also the ethical responsibilities of the filmmaker and how they put particular sequences together. So here are some questions, really just to consider. You don't have to answer all of these questions across the assessment. So what types of shots are used? Is the camera static? Is it handheld? Does it move? Does any type of shot dominate, or is there a variety of shots in this sequence? Is the editing fast or slow? All of these things are their choices from the filmmaker to create a particular way of reading the film and to persuade you to think about the film in a particular way. Documentary techniques. Does a documentary include interviews? And if so, who with? Is there a voiceover? What information is given in the voiceover? What is the purpose of the voiceover? Are we aware of the documentary maker? Do they appear on camera? Do we hear their voice? Things like that. And also the sound. Sound's very important to all the history of cinema, but very much to documentary. What the different sounds are being used here? What is the effect of music? A lot of what the documentaries are going for is a sense of authenticity, or verisimilitude, which is known in film terms as a sense of truth. So they're trying to give you the idea that what you're seeing is very raw footage that hasn't been neatly constructed, even though, of course, there are exceptions like Errol Morris's The Thin Blue Line, which in a way went against that cinema verite kind of idea, even though there's particular aspects of that in a film. So I'm really interested in these sorts of questions, just unpacking actually what's going on screen as much as the broader social context of ethically, what impact this is actually having on you as a film watcher. The assessment criteria, so is your ability to recognize and analyze some of the basic elements of what's going on the screen, your ability to analyze and read in detail passages of specific documentaries. So because you would have seen the film, the whole film, and this is a sequence from it, think about where this film is placed in the film, where it's situated in the film. Does this sequence speak to the film? And does it represent the film as a whole, or is it doing something else? Is it going somewhere else? Your ability to develop interpretive and analytical skills applicable to other texts and circumstances, which is again something we'll be developing across the course. Your ability to evaluate cinema as both specific entity and heterogeneous medium, and your ability to identify various theoretical and analytical approaches to documentary. But like I said, I'm also interested in you working outside of that and looking at the context of it. So for each clip, I would be expecting you to be writing about 300, 400 words on each clip to really get you up to the word limit. You can spread, if you feel like one sequence you want to spend a little bit more time on that than another, you can. But the way we will be assessing this is we'll be breaking it down and each sequence will be given, like 10 marks each, which is how we'll be doing it. So just be aware of that with your word limit, word length, although you can be a bit more flexible about that, make sure you really are, engaging with each clip that you're discussing. Okay, leave it there. Speak to you soon.